I do it because I love animals, and one animal at a time I'm going to try and sell them. One animal at a time I'm going to try and educate people on them to where I can find the right owners for the animals. But this particular guy here really is a nice specimen. They do get bigger and bigger as they go. This guy here is probably a yearling. This guy here, the best foods to feed them I find is greens. A lot of the pet stores misinform you, and they tell you things like, you know, feed them lettuce. You know, throw this light on there, and before you know it, they'll do fine. A lot of iguana owners are upset 3 months later that their animals perished off into nothing. The reason is lettuce is not really a good source of food, because if you think about it, it's more like water. Iceberg lettuce is straight up water. Green romaine lettuce, that's a little bit of stepped up water, but again, water. What I suggest is greens, collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens. The key word there is greens. Green, green, green. You know, a good source of protein and food is right on your front lawn. Dandelions are awesome. Just make sure that your lawn isn't being sprayed, or wherever you're getting them from isn't being sprayed, or you're looking at pesticides and different things that'll hurt the animal. But that's natural food, and really, the more natural food you can give an animal like this, the better they grow, the better their colors are, the more phenomenal of an animal that you get. But, you know, for right now, I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to bring in somebody in here that actually means something to me. A fella I met a couple months back actually touched my heart in a sense. I had an animal in here that actually was a big rescue to me. His name was Squash, and Squash was about a 6-foot iguana that actually just came in so emaciated. I think the person really did care for them very much, but I know the first owner did, and it was the mother to somebody, and before you know it, they gave him to another family member trying to keep him in the family. But before you know it, they started to lose interest, or scheduling changes, you know, things just happen in life, you know, and before you know it, I seen a photo of this animal beforehand, wanted him to come to me, and as he came in, I seen a terrible result of dehydration. It took me over 6 months of trying to get him back into shape, even longer, I want to say. So I probably lost interest after 6 months myself in time, because I thought I'd see more of a difference. But honestly, when you let them go that bad, it could take a year or so for them to actually get back. But I ran into this fellow that actually runs a nursery out there in Wisconsin somewhere, and he started talking to me about plant life and different stuff, and then started talking to me about iguanas. And I started thinking, wow, this guy really knows a lot about plant life and what they eat, and seems like a genuine type fella. And he's seen one of my iguanas here, and Squash was in need of help, no doubt. And this guy says to me a lot of things that were factual about how you take care of animals, and I thought if anybody, he'd be a great candidate for me. So what I ended up doing was I gave Squash up to another fella because he was a better candidate, could give more space, more love, more attention. And even he's finding that it's taking some time after a few weeks. I'm not sure about how many, he'll probably tell you that he's had them. And he's watched them fatten up in front of him, but there's a lot more that has to go with him. And we're going to show you different healths of iguanas, different points of dehydration. We're going to try and teach you different tricks to actually help you heal or rehydrate your animal the proper way. And really maybe even turn them into a really non-aggressive animal. You know, I've got all kinds of ways that I find potty training works wonders. At this point here, I would like to introduce that wonderful fella I was telling you about, and my little buddy that did a couple of my first shows, and I'm really happy to have him here at this one, because this is our first reptile tip type show. Thad, if you don't mind, come on in here and bring my baby Squash in here.
All right.
Which isn't quite a baby anymore.
Good
He's
to see
quite
you, Tom.
a
How you
monster.
doing?
It's my pleasure, my man. And
Always.
come all the way down here. I appreciate it so much. Looks like you've done a pretty good job on him. Still needs a little bit more work.
He does need a little bit of work. As you can see, he's a very tame animal.
Oh yeah.
So obviously somebody gave him a lot of love at some point.
Yeah.
He's very calm. He's very used to being handled. I have my nephew and my girlfriend's children around him. And at first they were terrified. You know, he's very frightening.
Oh yeah.
But he's very calm. And as you can see, you know, absolutely just about harmless. But of course, you never want to write any of these animals off as harmless.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they do have very sharp nails, as you can see, trying to get away. They do have very powerful jaws, and they can inflict an injury. So you always want to be just a little bit precautious when you're introducing yourself to a new animal.
You know, my hardest bite I ever received in the reptile trade honestly came from an iguana half the size of this guy.
Sure.
Caught me in the corner of my hand for like 2.5 months. I thought my hand was broken.
Oh my goodness.
They have such a strong set of jaws on them, as you can see with their jaws and stuff. And because they're vegetation eaters, they're continuing working that jaw.
Yeah.
Kind of like the pit bull. And
Absolutely.
when they latch on, that guy latched on to me.
They will grind, they will hold. Yeah.
It was like a vice. Amazing, amazing stuff. But I'm going to sit down. Maybe you could throw him on this log here so we can see him on this beautiful...
Oh, by all means. And as you can see, everybody at home can see that he is more comfortable up on the log, just like the little guy. Iguanas are arboreal animals, which means they prefer to be up in the air, up on some logs, up in the tree canopy, as opposed to down on the ground. So if you have an iguana, you're going to want to put some limbs, some sticks, things like that, so you can feel more comfortable.
Yeah, he's a remarkable specimen.
Oh,
I was sitting here checking him out. I'm going to show you guys a couple point of views that I want to show you on these iguanas that actually give the key point of dehydration. Like I said, this guy's done an awesome job, so you can't look at it like, you know, this is a neglected animal. He was neglected. Even here at my store, you know, I had a hard time. I fed him a lot of food, and I had a friend of mine that was bringing me religious food all the time, which I'm going to introduce to you later. That was a good sponsor of Reptile Rescue here, and honestly puts in a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of food because he knows how much I go through. Some of these animals can put down an awful lot of food, but if you look at this guy, as the top of the spine kind of sags down a little bit, the reason that happens is the skin isn't so tight no more. And if you watch the spine, I'm going to lift it. See how I'm lifting that up? Isn't that cool how they sit up? That's how the spike should sit. And the reason that they sit down a little bit is he's a little thin in the skin still. That's a perfect way of telling at home that you got a problem and you got to start fattening them up. You know, if you look down in the skull here, you got a couple of pits. With these guys here, they should be round like domes almost, right?
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of fat cells are up in here. And then again, another area you check is, of course, down in the tail. The tail is a big source of fat where they hold all their fat and moisture in. And you can kind of see the line that runs down in between it all. And that's the divide between the hard part of the tail and the actual fat. I've seen animals come in that were triangular in shape because they've lost it all. And it's just terrible, you know. Sometimes you can see the rib lines, you know, or you can see the lines of skin that roll down on the sides. You know, with this guy here, I think part of it was his heart was broken. The first owner that actually owned him was a wonderful woman. I mean, she showed me photos of this guy, and I thought, oh my God, bring him to me now. He was amazing. I thought, you know what, this is going to be my top specimen. And she decided to give it to a family member, you know, to keep it in the family because she loved it. And really what happened was I think the daughter lost time again, and before you know it, poor Squash did get skinny. I've been fighting with him, and as I'm sure you have. How long have you had him now?
I've had him about 5 or 6 weeks now, Tom.
So 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, he's doing real good for me. He will eat every day, if not twice a day.
Yep.
We do a great balanced diet. We do a lot of carrots, broccoli, different greens, different types of lettuce, red leaf lettuce, green leaf lettuce, romaine lettuce, collard greens, mustard greens, apples from time to time. I've been told by folks that have done dog food and cat food and even fish food, a little bit moistened, to try to add some weight
to
some of these real emaciated animals. A little bit of protein is a very good thing.
Right.